Hello and welcome for your weekly tarot reading brought to you by Nicholas. This is for September 14. Well, actually, it's September 15, sorry. So Monday, September 15 through Sunday, September 21st. Yeah, maybe I'll just get right into it. This week is a little bit slower astrologically. So what I wanted to do is just make kind of like an intention. Like what's the intent of the week through the tarot cards, and what I'm going to use is a Thoth deck, just kind of a signifier card, but it's going to be pulled instead of chosen. And then I will go into the daily cards of the day, but hopefully these cards will all just build on the theme of the signifier, so that's how it all should work. So I'm using the Thoth deck, and I'm also using the Zen Osho tarot deck, my favorite deck. By far, the one I just have the most rapport with and have used for years, and I love Osho. So for this week, wow, what a powerful card. Major Arcana card is the signifying card this week, even though it's a slower week. So to me, this is signifying, this month has been pretty volatile astrologically. Not volatile in a bad way, but just very busy is probably a better way to say it. So even though the week is relenting, we have the Priestess, and that's just very important in terms of, I just think now we're going to be settling down with this energy and integrating it into ourselves and just kind of becoming one with it and being able to use it in a more intuitive, passive, feminine sort of way. Everything we've been building toward has been bubbling up here, there, there. We're going to have a nice, calmer time to really reflect and really integrate it into our bones, what it all meant and represented this week. That's what I think the Signifier card represents from the Thoth deck. I mean, the two in other, like normal, the Rider-Waite deck, the most kind of popular deck out there, is the High Priestess. And I was reading a book on tarot, and they were calling this card a heresy card. The High Priestess is a heresy card because it's actually a female pope, and I guess that's a heresy? I don't know. I'm not, I was baptized Catholic, but I'm definitely not a practicing or super Catholic, so the symbolism of this, though, is so powerful and so right on. I mean, the tarot is representing things we need to get over as well, and it's kind of like, yes, women can be that spiritual authority figures as well, and this card represents that feminine side of the spirituality, and it's very powerful. And as you can see, there's the moon in the bottom here with, I think it looks like a moon, and so it's that lunar energy. It's kind of like the two phallic devices next to her, that's kind of like the feminine symbol as well, because she's sort of the middle and the accepting part of that. That's a bad way of saying it, but that's just what, several things I've read represents. Plus, the two is the duality. One is the male, the go, 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 ego drive, and the female is the two, the conjoining of the two. So this week is definitely about building on that energy that we've been experiencing as a single thing and putting it into the two card, the Priestess. So let's just see how that's the general theme of the week. That's what this week is supposed to represent. Let's see how the cards actually play out. So, for Monday, September 15th, whoa, okay, so 3 cards fall out. I guess you have to take them, right? So, okay. So, I'm just going to mix them up one more time, and whatever's on top's on top, and we'll pull it. So, it's the Nine of Air, it's sorrow. Tuesday, September 16th, is represented by the 5 of rainbows. That's the outsider. These cards come up time and time again in my readings. And Wednesday, September 17th, is the 5 of clouds. So this is comparison. So it already feels like this week is definitely a very mental week so far. It's shaping up to be a lot of air and cloud cards going on. The Thursday, September 18, is past lives. This is 18 of the Major Arcana, I should say. And Friday, September 19th, is Playfulness. That is the Page of Fire. And Saturday, September 20, is the King of Fire, the Creator. And Sunday, September 21st, is, I get this card time and time again. This is the 12. Got this last week. It's the Major Arcana, the New Vision card. So, and I believe the 12, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that the Hanged Man in normal tarot decks? But, so basically, our overriding theme is a Major Arcana card. So, even though, and it, you know, in tarot literature and the things that I subscribe to, I definitely believe when you pull a Major Arcana card, that's a signifying experience. That's a time period. That's an actual process, a stage along the path that you really have to integrate and learn and be a part of and align with and learn from. So it's a very important stage. It's not a minor stage. It's not a minor Arcana card. It's not even a court card. It's something more significant, like a life challenge, like some type of event in your life that you're really trying to accomplish or work through. And it's this event right now is the intuitive, the passive, the feminine, that accepting side, that allowing things to come in, that not forcing it, that meditative side. All of those things are very key words of what we're trying to experience through this week. And the way we're going to experience it through the week is played out in the individual day. So Monday is the Nine of Sorrows. And once again, it's just those lessons learned. Mondays always start out with like what I consider a conventionally negative card. I mean, nobody wants to go through sorrow or go through the head trips or go through the mind things. But tarot cards are really good. Getting these readings are really good for anticipation for the week. So emotions may be heavier and you might be lost in your thoughts and the negativity of your thoughts a little bit more. So the two paths you can either take are, one, definitely dig in deep and just experience your pain and really, 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 really get to know your pain and really, really, really try to understand the cause of it. And that's how you reach enlightenment, like Buddha's cousin here did when he experienced his entire pain throughout the night. He really understood, got down to its roots, and that's when he achieved enlightenment. So your second path is to just watch out. You know, maybe you're going to just try to outdo it. You know, sometimes you can use your force to just try to change the day. You know that this is going to be a sad, emotionally heavy day. Do everything you can to prepare for it. Eat right the night before. Have everything ready before you go to work. Make sure you show up, 10 minutes early for work, instead of showing up 5 minutes late, so that doesn't stress you out. Do all those things that you can do. Try to anticipate any problems that's going to happen in the workday and situation. Do you have to correct courses in some way? Think about all those types of things and prepare for Monday so that you don't have to imbibe in this sadness. Tuesday is the Five of Rainbows is the Earth sign, and it's the outsider sign. So once again, it's that feeling of being left out, but you're truly not because the lock on the door is open. So Tuesday is usually a martial day for me because it's represented by the planet Mars. So this Tuesday, in this overall Priestess journey, is once again kind of a mental state of realizing that we're not left out. And if you are feeling left out, or if there are people tangibly leaving you out, think about how you're using your energy to react to that. And that's what I've been really thinking about lately. It's like all the people that I've been giving energy to, especially at work where I'm trying to heal a lot of this stuff going on with me, I'm just kind of over it. I'm just like, why am I continuing to pour energy into these people that it's not paying off, it's not whatever. It's if I'm an outsider of that world, I need to go into the world where I feel more accepted, or I need to start building that world that I want to be in. And that's what I'm doing through doing these videos and tarot readings. So that's my suggestion there, is just if you're feeling left out in the world, start creating that world that you want to be in. Wednesday, September 17, is the Five of Clouds, and that's comparison. And just when it's really hard to spontaneously course correct, in my opinion. So I don't know how many times we get into that mental chatter and we're comparing ourselves to something else, and it's so sneaky you don't even realize you're doing it. And so with this Five of Clouds today, I just hope it's a good reminder for you to just take mental notes of every time you're comparing yourself to someone. And the other thing that I like to do with the Five of Clouds cards is it was sort of this, of all things, a Tony Robbins video that I watched just to pump myself up. It's really super, super cheesy, but we notice what we see. So we notice what we're told to see as well. So he would say, everybody in the room for 5 minutes, look at everything, or for 30 seconds, look at everything that's red. So everybody looks in the room as red. And then he asked the question, what did you see that's brown? And of course, more people didn't remember the brown things, but they remember red things, and they even made up things that were red that weren't really red because they were told to look for it. So is life. If you're, I told myself one day just to practice looking for every compliment that I received, and it was so funny because I walked in the door of work that day on my bike, and this guy who was just like a maintenance guy, nobody I knew around, never seen before. First thing he says is, "Whoa, that's a cool bike." So the first thing I do is get a compliment the days that I'm thinking about a compliment. And that compliment I would have probably just forgot and thought was insignificant. But I still remembered it to this time because I told myself to pay attention to those compliments. And that type of proactive thinking and that type of proactive framing of a day can make all the difference to how you feel and to get you out of this comparison mode. It's like, fine, I mean, you can compare actually in a positive way. Yeah, Rachel's really good at speaking and Mike is really good at planning. So great. Now you can bring those together and actually bring a team. I mean, these two trees can actually work together as a team. The bamboo and the oak can actually be teammates. So just try to frame it in a way that is energetically good for your life. So we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, September 18, we have a major arcana card, and this is the past lives. And the only thing I can recommend for getting this card is it reminds me of the north and south nodes of astrology. So definitely get a chart made up. You can go online at like astro.com and get your birth chart if you have your birth time and your birth information. And I mean, even if you don't have the exact time, I think you can actually get the north and south nodes. You probably won't have an accurate house system, but you'll be able to know at least what signs they are, and that can give you some clue of what your north and south nodes are. So the reminder of this, though, if this is really analogous to the north and south nodes, is the south node is something that you've done over a lifetime, over a lifetime, over a lifetime, over a lifetime. And that's not negative, but at this lifetime, it's not soul developing. And so you won't be soul fulfilled. And what happens with a lot of people is they find a lot of success in what their south node area because they're just so naturally talented in it because they've done it for so many lifetimes. And what happens is they manifest all these great things from their south node situation, like let's say it's creativity, but they still feel at lost, like life's not fulfilling, like there's something more. They're itching for some craving and they don't understand what that craving is. Well, that's where the north node comes in, and that's your true star that's your north star in this lifetime, and that's your soul purpose. And so what you do in those situations is once you've kind of reached that apex and you're super fulfilled and you don't know what's going on, is you go for the opposite, which is the 11th house. And the 11th house is bringing all this creativity and whatever you have or your abilities to an audience. The 11th house is about groups and about friends and about outward connections and social connections. And so you need to bring what you do into that type of sphere. And you might be sloppy and bad at it at first. And even being a teacher would be like an 11th house thing. But you need to just continue to develop that skill and develop that muscle. And what you'll find is these are just such soul-building things. You'll feel so much more fulfilled as you strive for it and you go for it. So I really encourage you to have an astrology chart and look at your north and south node. And Monday, Tuesday, this Thursday, September 18, is a good day to evaluate your true calling and what you're going for. Just because you have a 6th house job, is what I call it, your 9-to-5 job, doesn't mean you can't go and pursue your north house dream and your soul purpose, on the weekend. I do it all the time. Or, after work, I do that as well. So, and I mean, my life is so much worse without it. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the page of fire, and this is just playfulness. So to me, this card speaks for itself. It's that innocence, it's exuberance. I mean, it's kind of risque. This woman is this clown, and she's like in this sheer dress, kind of naked out there. So she's just absolutely one being herself. It kind of reminds me of just a fiery, more flashy Fool card. But when you have fire, it's definitely bringing in that fire energy. And as Mars goes into Sagittarius, that's when the brakes come off. And yeah, I believe that's happening this week. I'll have to look at the astrology. I mean, when Mars goes into Sagittarius, that's a fire sign, and Mars likes to be in fire. So I think that's what's influencing these string of fire cards that's coming up, because now on Saturday the 19th, or the 20th, I should say. So let me rephrase this. On Saturday, September 20th, you have the King of Fire, and so this basically represents, the good side, the high side, the positive side of fire. I mean, of course, fire can be destructive and hurtful and harmful and destroy these things and causes havoc on life. And you can even see that in the Tower card when lightning strikes the tower and people are forced to jump for their lives and things are on fire. But this is kind of a different use of the fire energy, and this shows that you're mature, you're conscious, and you're using your fire energy in a creative, positive way that can go and affect other people in the way that it should. And so just whatever you've been building for this week, and with this intuitive thing, the High Priestess experience we're going through in this week, this is just that time where you've kind of come to center and you're shining with this fire. And it's definitely a good day to be creative but steady. Definitely create something that's kind of lasting. So maybe you do a lot of rough drafts. I'm just making something up. You're a musician and you've written 5 rough draft songs. Now on Saturday, use this fire energy to actually complete the songs in a more polished and done way, in a refined way. And then Sunday is the new vision. And I'll have to confirm, because I really believe the 12 card in most tarot decks it is the Hanged Man. And so this is a new take if this is the case for Osho, because to me this, there's a person in the earthly field on the ground, and here's this like spiritual person outside. There's definitely a difference between the spiritual world and the human world in this card. And there's definitely an ecstatic state of being, a celestial, higher state of being. And the more I do divination, it's kind of funny. Like, you read cards and you think they're telling you something that's completely wrong. And the more you use the cards, it's kind of like creating this conversation with them. It's really hard to explain. Like, you kind of understand, like it's an old friend talking to you and you're understanding what it's saying to you. And what I'm realizing from all these messages that I get in the cards, it's the certain situations I evaluate in a mundane human way, that in an ordinary way, is not how the spiritual world are seeing these situations necessarily. They do not see the argument with your boss in the same way that you're seeing it, or some examples are, there's like people that I'm like, I'll do a relationship spread and see what's going on, what is our relationship energy like, and it's somebody who I'm having negative experiences with, but when I read the cards, it's all these positive cards pulling up for this experience, and it's like, it's kind of understanding how spirit is seeing the use of what's going on in these energies and getting this new perspective. So it doesn't usually sometimes change your experience in the mundane world. Somebody's being a jerk and you're dealing with that jerk, and then you see a card and you see a relationship spread and you're getting all these positives. It's just kind of reaffirming that, okay, this person does need to be in my life, and can I learn these lessons from it? I mean, it doesn't necessarily make the lessons easier, but it just confirms something that I know, like, these lessons are mine. This is what I'm supposed to be experiencing. So that, to me, that's one of the major powerful things of the tarot. So once again, even though it's a slower week in terms of transits, it looks kind of positive. The beginning of the week starts out, to me, kind of like a head trips. When you're getting these cards like the Outsider and Sorrow and Comparison, we're just doing all that head trippy things, and then you're kind of reflecting on where you want to go come Thursday. And that kind of pushes us into this spiritual understanding, I think. That's finally that Thursday is the hump in the week that brings us into our own playful and fiery energy. That comes Sunday, if we really embrace the cards as it is and these events as they are, and you take some of the advice, or take some of these messages and really apply them in your day, this is when you get the new vision on Sunday. You kind of blossom into this new vision. So that is the weekly reading for September 15th through the 21st. I wanted to do more, but we're already running about 20 minutes, so I don't want to take up all your time. So, I mean, the only thing I wanted to say about the last few weeks is, though it's been volatile and busy, Some of the harder transits, like for example, the Mercury square Pluto that happened, it's always surrounded by more positive ones, like a Sun trine, Jupiter, or a Venus opposite Neptune. So I really feel like this month has been about a lot more positive busyness, a lot more working behind the scenes still, but kind of manifesting that stuff that we've been doing behind the scenes in real life, but it's still probably not in a public eye, but it's definitely in our eye, and it's definitely, we're starting to really get the tangible things nailed down, which is positive. And I really feel like everything's been accurate for me in terms of my readings, for my life. I mean, even, the thing is that in order to really get the most out of tarot readings, you have to have a reader that you really enjoy, and you've got to try to watch 1 to 3 people a week and not overdo it, not do anything more than that, because you don't want to be inundated with these signs and symbols and messages. But you also need to apply these messages. For example, today I had the Thoth deck, and I always pull a single card for myself, aside from the Wild Unknown and Osho cards that I pull here. But it was art. And so, I didn't try to overthink it. I just said, I'm not going to analyze it. It just says art. Tonight's my Friday. Instead of going out and seeing a movie, instead of going out and do these other things, I'm actually going to stay home and make this video. I'm going to try to stay home and make all my other astrological videos for the week, because, that's the symbol, that's the sign for today, and the energy's aligning with that. And the more that I kind of take heed in this stuff, it's kind of like these strange doors keep opening. More, it's just, everything's more blessed. I don't know how to explain it. There's so much more grace coming in, so much more positivity coming in. People are commenting very kindly, even if it's just one comment a week. It makes all the difference. And there's, before all my videos would get like 30 views, and now I'm getting like 50 and 80 views, which is just strange, So it's just, the more that you start taking lessons and really listening to these things, all I can say from my personal experience is the doors open and your path becomes clearer and clearer, and walking that path becomes so much more fulfilling and fun. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. My name's Nicholas. If you have any comments or questions or anything, please feel free to leave them. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thanks for watching.